Welcome to the second episode of the Effective E-commerce podcast, and in this podcast, we're going to be talking about how to come up with an idea for your online business, and we're going to go over a bunch of different techniques. And I got to start off and let you know this question kind of bothers me a little bit. I get this question a lot. It's a very, very common question. How do I come up with an idea for an online business? And the truth is, it bugs me because I have so many ideas. If you're serious and you need an idea for an online business, email me, travis@effectiveecommerce.com. I've got about 20 or 30 ideas that I just don't have enough time to start. But that doesn't really answer the question. So let's talk about some tangible things on how you can come up with an idea for your online store. So the first thing I want to say is definitely check out the e-commerce success pack I have for free. You go to effectiveecommerce.com/success pack, all one word, or you just go to effectiveecommerce.com and you'll see it there. But in that, I actually have a worksheet that'll help you come up with an idea. But let's go over some of the techniques from the worksheet and some of the techniques on how to come up with an idea. The first thing I'd say is look around you. What do you spend money on? What do you spend the most money on? And what I mean by this is, what do you spend money on that other people do not? For instance, for me, one of the things I saw that I spent money on was food. I'm willing to buy higher quality food than most people. Most people are okay with just getting, some cheap stuff from Walmart. I wanted the higher quality fuel for my body. On top of that, another thing I saw that I spent a disproportionate amount of money on was supplements. So I thought about that a lot. And one of the things I saw that there was a hole in the market was healthy fat-based supplements or healthy fat-based snacks. There's a lot of protein snacks. Most snacks have carbohydrates in them, especially a lot of sugar. But what I wanted was something that doesn't have sugar and is high in healthy fats, like an anytime snack. And that's why I decided to develop my company, Performance Nut Butter. So that was basically the method that I used. So what I want you to do is think about, what are you price insensitive to? What do you buy that other people think, oh, that's kind of expensive? And write down some of the things. Another thing that you can think about is, what are you interested in? And if you're not sure what you're interested in, what websites do you go to? What magazines do you read? What YouTube videos do you watch? And probably if you're listening to this, one of the things is obviously internet marketing. But let's think outside of that. Outside of internet marketing, what podcast do you listen to outside of the internet marketing podcast? Write down every kind of media that you consume. Write down what you enjoyed doing as a kid. And this might not help you come up with an idea right away, but it might get you starting to think. So the next thing I want to talk about here is, once you have all these different ideas and you've got all this flowing, and this is, once again, it's in the worksheet, effectiveecommerce.com/success pack, you got to think about what would make your life better. Write on one side of the paper what you're good at, and on the other what you're bad at. So you can take a piece of paper, divide it in half, one side what you're good at, one side what you're bad at. Then think about things that would make your life easier. And you can ask people the same things. Go up to people and say, what are you struggling with? What would make your life easier? Now, it almost sounds silly, but one thing that I was struggling with was high quality snacks on the go. Something that I could eat, something I could throw in my bag and eat wherever. Because I don't like a lot of the snacks that are out there. A lot of the snacks that are out there have way too much sugar. Like, way too much sugar. If you turn over first off, there's no need to add sugar to anything, in my opinion. If you don't believe me, try Performance Nut Butter. It tastes good without sugar. I think the only reason that we add sugar to most snacks is because the snacks are so depleted and have such a lack of nutrients that we have to add sugar to make it even taste palatable. So one of the things that I did was I looked what would make my life easier, and an on-the-go snack definitely would. Now, one of the things that I also looked at, so let's take my other company, my dance clothing company, B Dancewear. We manufacture and sell dance clothing in 200 plus colors. It's basics. It's all made in the USA. Now, that doesn't make my life easier, but what it did was it made dance moms easier. Dance moms' lives easier. They wanted dance clothing in light purple. They wanted dance clothing in weird colors, light ivory, dark nude, colors that you can't just find anywhere else. Now, they're willing to pay extra money for a higher quality product. And I think this is one thing I didn't have in my notes that I do want to add. Think about premium products. Don't try to be the cheapest. You're not going to be able to beat Walmart. Also, when you're thinking of an idea, try to niche it down as much as possible. You're not Amazon, you're not Walmart, you don't have $1 billion. Or if you do, please send me an email, Travis at Effective E-commerce. Let's start a business together. But most of you listening probably don't have $1 billion. You're probably starting with a smallish budget. Even if you have 10 grand, you still want to niche down. Even if you have 100 grand, you probably want to niche down. So think about all the things we've already talked about in this episode. Once again, get the worksheet, go through it, and that's the first part. The first part is just kind of getting the bubbles in your head going, the brew, all the ideas brewing in your head. The next thing I want you to do is write down one idea a day. One idea a day before you go to bed. You can do it when you wake up instead, but I recommend before you go to bed. It could be basically before you're allowed to sleep, you have to write down one idea. And if you can't do this for 30 days, you're just not serious. And it doesn't matter how bad the idea is. Let your mind go free. You could write down, I want to sell turtles online for racing. Very niche. That's probably not a good idea. I don't recommend that, but maybe you could make that work though. But just get the creative juices flowing, especially if you've already done all this other legwork of writing down what you're passionate about, writing down what you're price insensitive about. You're going to start having ideas, and feel free to write more than one idea a night, but you have to write down one idea minimum. And the other thing this is going to do is when you write down the idea before you go to bed, your brain, while you're sleeping, is going to be coming up with ideas. And feel free in the morning to write down an idea too. If you want to write it in the morning, then obviously you don't have to do it before bed. So basically, it's one idea a day. Just write it down. The other thing I want to talk about is it doesn't need to be your idea. I think there's a big misunderstanding in the internet marketing and the online space. Everyone thinks that they need to come up with a genius new idea. No. There's two things here. One, you can just look at what's already existing and do it better. Facebook wasn't the first social media platform. MySpace was before them, but Facebook did it better. Google wasn't the first search engine. Yahoo was. Or I don't even know if Yahoo was. There might have been even something before that. But Yahoo beat Google to market, but Google did it better. So don't be afraid if there's already something out there. Try to find something to differentiate yourself. Once again, I've had a countless number of people come up to me and say, oh, I've seen nut butter in individual packets on the shelf, whatever at the grocery store. You're going to fail. No, that has nothing to do with it. I have a different niche. I have a different market, and you should too. So that's the first thing. You look at other existing businesses and look at how you can do it better or how you can serve a different niche or market. The other thing you can do is look at other people's ideas. Like I did, for instance, with my dance clothing company. It wasn't my idea. My mom had the idea, but she didn't have the ability to execute it as an online store. That's where I came in. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably pretty smart. You're probably smart enough to be able to build an online store. And that's a skill that a lot of people don't have. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, you can always partner with a less technical person and help them create their dream, help them create a business, and you'll obviously benefit from it too. So that's what I did with my B Dancewear company. I'm not passionate about dance clothing, but I was passionate about business and I was passionate about starting an online store. And now, hopefully, that's going to translate into more success with performance nut butter. So the last thing I want to say is you can ask your friends. Ask your friends for advice. Ask friends and family. Ask them what they think you should do because they're going to have ideas and you can partner with them or not partner with them. It really doesn't matter. So that's a lot of information and I hope this helps. Once again, go to effectiveecommerce.com/success pack, or if you just go to effectiveecommerce.com, you'll be able to find the success pack. I have a worksheet in there that's going to help you come up with an idea, and I can't guarantee it, but trust me, if you go 30 days of really trying to get those creative juices flowing, you're going to come up with a really good idea. The next thing I want to say is go to iTunes, leave a 5-star review for a chance to win a free one-on-one consulting session with me. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to pick a new winner every month. So the earlier you get in your 5-star review, the better shot you have at getting a one-on-one consulting session with me, a free one-on-one consulting session with me. Because every month it's a new person that I'm picking, but the reviews, so if you get in earlier, every month you're going to have a chance. That's a better opportunity. And the other thing about leaving a 5-star review is it really helps out the podcast and it lets me know that you're enjoying this content. So leave a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're interested in courses on e-commerce, you can go to effectiveecommerce.com. I have some courses there, and specifically, I'm going to be starting a course where we go from A to Z on how to start an online store. It's going to be a class where we have weekly meetings, we have masterminds, and we all help each other out as a group. You can go to effectiveecommerce.com/AZ, just the letter A and the letter Z, lowercase, to find out more information about that. And feel free to email me, Travis@effectiveecommerce.com, if you have any questions. Thank you for listening to this episode.